That is a live picture right now of Tucson, Arizona. That is Nancy Guthrie's house, where she disappeared from 3 weeks ago, 20 days into this case that has garnered international attention. Of course, she is the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. The FBI is there. The sheriff is there. Take a look at this surveillance picture. This is the biggest and most promising lead that we have gotten. And this is the man they are looking for. I'm going to bring in an expert now who knows all about crime and solving big problems, former NYPD Detective Mike Alcazar. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So I'm sure you're as frustrated as the rest of the country. I feel like this story, this case has really tugged at people's hearts. Everybody has a parent, an elderly relative. It's just so unusual for someone to be kidnapped out of their bedroom, if that's what happened, in the middle of the night. And it's just, I think that's why this story has legs, has so many people still wondering, and they're armchair sleuths. So what do we make of some new information we got today from the sheriff that they are now possibly looking, and maybe they always have been, that this person had an accomplice?
Yeah, I think that's something that they've always looked at, the possibility that he had accomplices. It's unusual that one person would take a 150-pound woman out of there by themselves. So, I wasn't surprised that they were entertaining that. I know some people have been examining the video and they're saying that they can see other people in the video. Now, we don't know if they have other video inside the house. They haven't released that information. For him to say that, I'm guessing they might have some evidence leading to other individuals potentially in the house.
So how long do you think the federal government and the Pima County Sheriff's Department employ this massive manpower and air power and all of the other resources that they have been using? How long can they go on? This must be an enormous expense.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like you said, it's touched the heart of America, the world. And I don't see them, taking away this investigative help anytime soon. I mean, I hope they're close to like a closure or some kind of investigative lead to help solve this case.
Well, let's talk about that because they've been getting thousands and thousands of tips. What about the ransom notes? Any more information about that? Because TMZ seems to have somebody on the hook. They keep sending them more and more ransom notes. And the more they send, the less it seems legit. It seems like there are opportunists out there that might be trying to take advantage of this tragic situation.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that ransom notes and people are coming up with information now, day 20, and now I think they're just taking advantage of the situation. They sound like they might be scammers. I know the FBI is probably investigating. It's a separate case. They're not providing proof of life or proof of custody of Nancy, so I think it's highly unlikely that they're actually involved in this crime.
So you were a hostage negotiator, former NYPD detective. You're familiar with so much and have so much experience. What if you were involved directly in this case? What's next? Do you feel like they're at a dead end, or are they just meticulously going through tip after tip?
Well, they're processing the tips, anything coming through Crime Stoppers. They're vetting what information, again, is probative that can help solve this case. They're revisiting the location. We've seen that. They're processing the evidence that they have. Hopefully, they have something that we're just not privy to that they can develop into a lead. They're recanvassing the neighborhood. They're checking the neighbors again. I'm sure they're re-interviewing witnesses. If this was my case, I would absolutely be debriefing prisoners. Anybody that's been collared, arrested in the neighborhood, I would be debriefing them about any information that they might know about this case. And now they went to Mexico, they're working with Mexican authorities. So I think they're doing what they can. And again, we're only exposed to a little bit of what the information they have. I'm confident they have more. At least I want to believe that. And hopefully, they can solve this case or find Nancy soon.
Yeah, it's really, time is of the essence, especially with someone with a pacemaker and other health issues. Of course, I'm sure her family is just devastated by this. But I did hear what you said about possibly, other felons who maybe got out of prison or did time, maybe possibly living in the area. And I heard that from someone in law enforcement like 3 weeks ago. So is it possible that some of these things have already been tested and tried and they just in law enforcement, do you just have to go back over things again and again?
Yeah, you're going to go through the database, check recidivists, any burglars that were recently paroled, any people that were arrested in the area that they might be the suspects. So yeah, again, it's meticulous. You have to go through the computer checks. You got to check the databases, and it's just something that you have to do over and over again, and hopefully something pops that can develop into a lead.
All right, Detective, we'll leave it there. I really appreciate you joining us tonight, and I hope you'll come back again. And maybe we'll come back again with some happy news that Nancy Guthrie has been found safely. That would be great. But, 3 weeks just must be heartbreaking for any family member or friend of hers to have to endure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks, Detective. We appreciate it.